Hey, Delete Everything family. This is Patrick from Delete Everything Podcast. We're going to do a little treat for you. This is a concept that we've had this was a Riley idea back when Delete Everything Podcast was still in its infancy. I think you probably had it before you brought it up to me.
I've wanted to do this for a long time, since I started listening to podcasts.
Yeah. So we are going to do this probably once every couple months and just release it as a bonus. So this is our first episode.
Hey, are we releasing this somewhere around Halloween?
Yes.
Today for Halloween, we're dressing up as another podcast.
That's a good one. So this is our first episode of Bad Movie Please Fix, which will probably at some point in the future become a whole separate podcast, but we're testing it out with you guys. So tell us what you think. Thanks. Bye.
Here they come.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bad Movie Please Fix. Bad Movie Please Fix is a show where we discuss bad movies. Not so bad it's good, not how did this get made, but bad. Movies that aim to be good, that hired good actors, had good writers, were even made by well-respected directors, but somewhere in the mix, they fucked it up. They took a wrong turn on the lighting or the music or the editing maybe, and instead of an award-winning piece of cinematic history, they got Geely or Battlefield Earth or Birdemic Shock and Terror. Whatever happened, the movie sucks, and that's how it's remembered. On Bad Movie Please Fix, we examine these black holes of cinema and ask the question, why so bad? Why so bad? Seriously, what the fuck happened here? And what could they have done to fix it before they released it to be derided and relegated to the trash bin of history? On today's episode of Bad Movie Please Fix, we're talking about the 2006 hack job, The Black Dahlia, directed by Brian De Palma, adapted from the 1988 James Ellroy novel of the same name, inspired by the 1947 murder of Elizabeth Short. Starring Josh Hartnett, Aaron Eckhart, Scarlett Johansson, and Hilary Swank, also featuring Mia Kirshner as the titular Black Dahlia, the film ostensibly follows two detectives, played by Hartnett and Eckhart, as they unravel the mystery surrounding the brutal murder of a rising Hollywood starlet. I'm your host, Riley Bowen, and joining me today are my co-hosts, Special Agent Patrick Wall.
Hello.
And Drew Bowlby.
Yo.
Pat.
Yes.
What did you think of this movie?
Oh, boy. It was... So obviously the reason why we decided to do this movie is because we did a Delete Everything podcast episode on the Black Dahlia murder. Mm-hmm. So I went into it anticipating a story about the Black Dahlia murder.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
And it was not that. But the thing is, like, and you and I discussed this, I can understand if they had gone a different route using the Black Dahlia murder as a driver for sort of this dichotomy between these two murder cops and
homicide detectives.
Yeah, that's what they're called. And had that sort of play a lesser role in the just a role in driving the story about these two guys and sort of the LA Police Department at the time, which it seemed like they wanted to do. But then they would just haphazardly come back to the murder. And then there'd be like there'd be like one scene of like just this neurotic, like, oh, we got to figure out who did this. And then the next scene, it'd be something completely different. And I'm like, what are we making a movie about, guys?
that is kind of, I think that's like my big thing as well, is like, what is this movie about? Is it about the detectives? Is it about Josh Hartnett's relationship with Scarlett Johansson? Is it the Hilary Swank thing? Is it about the Black Dahlia in some way?
It feels like there was like one guy, right, who wasn't on set every day, but he had something like maybe one of the bigger producers or something like that, right? So he's not on set every day while they're filming, and so like. And then Brian De Palma had this. So the producer's like, yeah, we're making a movie about the Black Dahlia murder and the investigation and figuring that out. And Brian De Palma had this whole different movie in mind And so he'd start filming the movie about the detectives and that relationship, along with Scarlett Johansson, who plays Aaron Eckhart's girlfriend. And also has this weird thing with Josh Hartnett, the sort of love, like forbidden love thing,
like thruple-ish.
Yeah, and then every once in a while,
in my notes, I have, are they a thruple question?
Yeah, and then every once in a while, this producer would come on set and see what was being filmed and be like, "Hey, we're supposed to be figuring out a murder, right?" And De Palma would be like, "Oh yeah. Like shoehorn a scene in about trying to solve the murder," and then that producer would leave and he'd be like, "Okay, so let's get back to this thing." That really is what it feels like.
Scarlett, I want you to undress in this doorway, and Hartnett, just look at her with an emotion. I don't know which one, but just like use
just the one that you have.
Use your face.
Just use the face that you have. The only one, the only look you give.
All right, so Drew, what do you think?
I took a lot of notes. A lot of them are about how much I hate these fucking fades in this movie.
Oh yeah,
the Star Wars wipes,
screen wipes. Yeah,
I think I sent y'all on a note. These fades, fades. Screen wipes should have stayed in the fucking 70s.
Yeah,
and I know they were trying to.
Yeah, if you've ever watched a Star Wars movie, every scene when it kind of like there's like a side wipe or like the whole thing closes down in the middle or the whole thing.
Kind of works there.
They use that.
Doesn't work for a gritty noir.
Yeah, I think that they were doing is like pulling stuff out of like the 40s and 50s cinema, to like, because they would use those back in the day for noirs and stuff.
Yeah.
But like.
It doesn't work for this movie.
It doesn't work specifically for this movie. I think what would have worked just as well as if they did like those like local news broadcast star swipes where it's just like whew, whew.
Yeah, I mean it's the same effect, I would say. Other than that, this movie sucks ass.
Agree.
Are we gonna get into why we think it sucks ass?
We're gonna break apart every element of why it sucks balls so bad.
Okay, I have a bunch of notes that I don't know what they mean.
You'll get there. You just hate typing as you watch the movie.
I took some notes, and one of them is there was a sweet spot of about 20 minutes when I thought it was going to get better.
Yeah.
And then it got even worse.
Yeah.
And then I wrote, fuck this movie after that.
That is kind of the problem, because there's my take on it too, is that there is very little reason for this movie to be bad. Like, legitimately, it's like the body of the film is so good. The directing looks great. Like the cinematography
was great.
Like, I think that there's a very strong basis of like making it look like an authentic like 40s noir, and then somewhere in there they decided that cohesion in general in the story was pointless.
Well, another thing that there's no consistency is like in the beginning of the movie, the first maybe 20-30 minutes of the movie, right? First of all, the dialogue is so clunky. It's so fucking clunky, and I think they were trying to go with like this sort of 1940s, like, oh yeah, we all talk like this, and
exactly,
everything's a quip and whatever. But like, they didn't do a good job of that.
I feel like they were doing that with the characters that weren't Josh Hartnett and Aaron Eckhart.
Right.
Like everybody around them is like, hey, what's happening there, fella?
Hey, Slim.
Yeah, but then it gets to Josh Hartnett and he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to solve this murder.
Can I propose an overall theory before we get into too much of, I think a lot of this was a rush job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Probably.
And a lot of my notes, speak to that. Like Hilary Swank is a good actor normally, right?
Yeah.
She sucks ass in this movie.
Well, I don't know what kind of femme fatale energy she's supposed to bring here.
And what fucking accent? I think like she hadn't found it, but they had to shoot and keep rolling.
Fake like British,
mid-Atlantic
posh.
sort of like, Like
I feel like they went with the first take on a bunch of stuff.
But
because of a time crunch.
So this thing that had this weird consistency issue is like the whole first 20-30 minutes of the movie, every scene is like maybe a minute long.
Yeah.
And then they do the screen wipe, and then it's another, and it's a minute long, and it's screen wipe, and and I'm like, and they're introducing so many characters so quickly without really doing any character development. And like, I have in my notes, literally one note: who the fuck are these people? That's a note. Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, that's an issue.
And then there was also one weird thing also involving the cinematography, right? There's the scene where Josh Hartnett goes on the first date with Hilary Swank.
Right.
Did you notice the whole camera turns into POV just for their date?
I noticed that a lot. which doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It made no sense because it was just that scene, and I think maybe another one like very briefly.
Maybe
like,
they didn't have the coverage. That's what I'm saying. I think everything was rushed. Like maybe they didn't have the coverage of Hartnett.
I don't know. They just didn't have. Oh, Josh
is another movie this
week. They didn't get the other shot.
Like he's doing Pearl Harbor this week, so we gotta fucking
exactly.
But yeah, like to just. So, I mean, we'll get into that a little bit, but like Brian De Palma is very known through all of his movies for doing these kinds of little things that fucking throw the movie off. Like, do you ever see the movie Carrie? Right, classic horror movie Carrie.
Yes.
You know, okay. So, do you remember the scene in Carrie where she's losing her mind, she's covered in pig blood, and she's killing everybody in the auditorium, or in the gymnasium, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? She looks like, and the hose hits the people. Okay,
that's the one scene everybody knows.
Yes. Do you recall that whole scene is done in split screen?
No.
It's the whole scene. There's no other split screen in the entire fucking movie, but for that scene, as soon as she starts going, wah, it cuts into two screens so you can see some action happening on one side of the gym and then whatever Carrie's doing. Okay. But it's not congruent. It's not like she looks and then whatever's happening on the other side of the screen like meshes. It's just two screens doing stuff on screen for that whole scene. Because that's Brian De Palma. He does these weird, like, I'm going to make this distinctive. But we'll get into him a little bit more. Okay.
I know your feelings on him.
I'll just start out with Brian De Palma can suck my dick, so not in like a respectful way. Not like, oh, I wish he would please fulfill my dream of sucking my dick. I mean, he sucks. God damn it. Okay, so let's talk about the writing. Or let's break it down in general, but we'll start with writing. Okay. So, this movie's adapted from the James Ellroy novel, which I listened to recently and is pretty good. It makes some pretty wild divergences from the source material, which already made some pretty wild divergences from the actual historical source material.
Okay.
Right? This is the plot synopsis from plotexplain.com.
All right.
Which is a website.
Ever reliable.
plotexplain.com. In the film, LAPD detectives Dwight Bucky Bleichert, Josh Hartnett, and Lee Blanchard, Aaron Eckhart, are partnered together following a boxing match aimed at raising public support for their department. Lee introduces Bucky to his girlfriend, Kay Lake, played by Scarlett Johansson, forming a tight-knit trio. Bucky is taken aback when Kay reveals she hasn't been intimate with Lee, leading her to make advances towards him, which he rebuffs. Complicating matters, Bucky learns that Kay has the initials BD branded on her, which signify Bobby DeWitt, a notorious gangster whose arrest and conviction for a major bank heist boosted Lee's career. Did you guys know any of this?
I had to, yes, kind of.
Okay, so tragedy strikes on January 15th, 1947, when the dismembered remains of Elizabeth Short, infamously known as the Black Dahlia, are uncovered. The grim discovery captivates both detectives, driving them into an obsessive quest for answers. Bucky discovers that Elizabeth aspired to be an actress and had connections in the underground scene.
Snuff films. She was doing porn films.
Yeah, exactly. Even starring in an adult film. During this investigation, he visits a lesbian nightclub where he encounters
Hilary Swank.
No, who's singing at the
Katie Lang.
Katie Lang.
Well, which, by the way, I have a note about that, because if you remember when Josh Hartnett's going around to the different clubs asking about Elizabeth Short, right? And somebody at one of the clubs is like with a weird Jamaican accent, and she like says something about her hanging out with a lesbian who dressed like a man. You remember that scene where she's like, she wears a suit, she dressed like a man, blah, blah, blah. The next scene is him at this club where Katie Lang is up on stage with a top hat and a suit singing a song. And you go, okay,
oh shit, it's Katie Lang.
This is the suspect. This is who he's going to like ask about Elizabeth Short. Never does it.
Nope.
Never that part never happens.
I don't even remember any of this. So we're coming at this from kind of three different perspectives. Riley's seen it quite a few times.
Like Patrick, 4 or 5 times at this point.
I watched it just this last week.
Patrick just watched it, and I watched it a couple months ago when we talked about doing this. So this is how quickly the shit fades from my memory. I remember the fucking ridiculous garrote wire run.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
The funniest shit I've ever seen.
The garrote scene was ridiculous.
And I remember Hilary Swank had like a really shitty accent. And that whole end confrontation.
I do declare.
Bad.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was like her.
Daddy loves to let me do anything I want.
Yeah, it was like kind of British.
Oh, Bucky-ish.
It changed a lot.
Yeah, it's bad.
I want to point out I made my wife watch this with me. and she was very angry at me and at you.
Sweet. I avoided the bullshit.
During the investigation, Bucky visits a lesbian nightclub where he encounters Katie Lang. Madeline Linscott, played by Hilary Swank, who bears a striking resemblance to Elizabeth, which she does not. I think it should be pointed out. Does not bear a striking resemblance.
Just in that she
even
has
to the other
same
actress.
hair and
she's wearing kind of the same stuff.
Black clothes.
Hilary Swank has a pretty distinctive look. Does not look like the actress playing Black Dahlia at all.
She's got socks shoved in the front of her pants.
Madeline, who hails from an affluent family, claims to have been close to Elizabeth, but requests that he keep her name out of the media in return for sexual favors, leading to a swift introduction to her wealthy parents.
Yes.
Which I loved that part. He's like, okay, fine. I won't rat you out to the press if you fuck me. Now let's go have dinner with your parents. As Lee's fixation grows, it turns him volatile and abusive towards Kay, the Scarlett Johansson. Following a heated confrontation.
Yeah, why? That's the other thing. I was like, why is Aaron Eckhart like losing his fucking mind?
That is kind of
this?
Possibly my favorite thing in this movie is, so they're given the case.
Yes.
Right? You don't get any follow-up on them really with the case.
And then Aaron Eckhart's character goes...
The next time you see Aaron Eckhart, he's got all of these pictures of Elizabeth Short splayed out on the dinner table.
He's just pulling his hair out.
He's just like, oh, we got to solve this case. And then fucking Scarlett Johansson puts like a plate down on the table. He's like, no, put a fucking plate on the table.
Yeah, he throws the plate across the room. And then remember, he also sets up like a whole like... It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, like the Pepe Sylvia board. And Josh Hartnett's like dad's apartment.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, and so you're watching this and you're like, for me at least, I'm like, okay, is there going to be a reveal that he had some sort of relationship with Elizabeth Short? Because obviously, as per our episode, and I think they touch on it a few times in the movie, Elizabeth Short was dating all kinds of men. You know, she's involved with a lot of different men.
That would have been a good plot point if they
so I was like, when are they gonna like drop the fucking the bomb that he was involved with her at some point, and that's why he's so involved.
Right.
Never happened.
Well, it seems
Never
like they're
happened.
also trying to imply that maybe he's gay or something too. Right.
Well, here's the thing: his character actually has more development in the book that I assume they must have referenced in the movie before they made big cuts. Okay. So we get finished through this synopsis, and then as we get further on, I've got a lot of comments about that because the book fills in all of the gaps that are left by this movie.
Okay.
And like the ending is wildly different. The entire resolution to the case is different. It's like a different movie, but like it's like Brian De Palma focused so much on the first half of the book that he forgot there was a second half. So then they smash the second half of the book in the last like 15 minutes of the fucking movie. It's kind of insane. It really is. As Lee's fixation grows, it turns him volatile and abusive towards Kay. Following a heated confrontation over a past case, Bucky seeks to make amends, but upon visiting Lee and Kay, he discovers that Lee had been pursuing a lead on Bobby DeWitt, who is a character.
Who literally is in one scene.
Yeah. But it looms large, like so many of these characters seem to. It's like you see him for 1 second, and then they just like are like, oh, you remember this guy?
It's supposed to loom large, but it doesn't.
You know what it reminds me of? You ever see the movie Role Models?
Yes.
No.
Role Models is good. Ooh, yeah.
Patrick, you got me on one.
Yay.
There's a part in Role Models where
Paul Rudd and McLovin.
Yeah. There's a part where these guys are like around a campfire and someone's telling
Stifler's in it.
Someone's telling the last part of like a scary story in the campfire, and he's like, and then when he pulled the mask off, you realized it was Jeremy. You remember Jeremy from the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
He was the guy at the lantern, and everyone's like, that's what this movie does so many times.
It really does.
In a harrowing sequence, Bucky witnesses an armed confrontation where Lee is brutally killed, only for Bucky to subsequently lose Lee as another mysterious figure murders his partner. What?
A mysterious figure murders his partner, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
The most ludicrous scene of the movie, possibly.
The fucking run.
Yeah, that whole scene is fucking ridiculous.
Well, it's the first time you see Bobby DeWitt. Then he gets killed in that scene, right?
Yeah,
because it's right after Aaron Eckhart kills him.
Yeah,
shoots him. that a guy you have not seen in this movie at all,
Yeah, crazy face looking guy that you've got no
with
idea
glasses and big old bug eyes,
Zoidberg's up to him with a fucking garrote wire.
yeah, shows up with a fucking garrote and like gets
rumbled
him
with it over his head in silhouette.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, and like puts this garrote
I
around.
think in my notes, I said that is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
It's like if a crab person was
That's what I'm saying.
Zoidberging,
Yeah.
exactly. Woo, 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 like coming up behind him. And
he-
like the
and he
close
gr-
up on
and
the
he-
guy's face is ridiculous.
Yeah, the close up is the most comical
He's got
shit
crazy
ever.
bulging eyes.
He's got big old bulging eyes with the big Coke bottle fucking glasses,
I will say,
and
worth the price of admission just to see that. But
and you've never seen this guy before in the movie, and he garrotes Aaron Eckhart, and they struggle at the top of this like building that's like got an open fall, and then they both end up falling and dying.
Well, as it's that as apparently the garrote wire wasn't enough to kill him because this mysterious, obviously feminine character wearing a big hat
Comes
appears
up
from
and
the
stabs
shadows
him.
and then slices Aaron Eckhart's throat while he's actively being choked, sending both of them over the edge
Yeah.
and crashing comically into this fountain and dying.
onto like a statue in the middle of a
Which
fountain.
is like, what was that? What was
And by
that?
the way, the whole time Josh Hartnett's just standing at the bottom watching. It's like, dude, this scene went on for so long.
He's
You
like,
could have gotten up to the
"Oh,
5th floor.
no."
It's 5 floors up. You could have gotten there.
got a fucking gun.
Right next
You
to
can
the
just shoot up
stairs.
from there.
You're right next to the stairs. He's like leaning on the stairs watching, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
In the aftermath of Lee's death, in the aftermath of Lee's death, grief binds Bucky and Kay in a transient moment of passion, which is to say they fuck.
They fuck.
The following morning, Bucky stumbles upon cash hidden in the couple's bathroom, prompting Kay to disclose her past with Bucky DeWitt. You know, Bucky DeWitt.
You know that could
Or Billy DeWitt.
who?
Donnie DeWitt
but
from the beginning.
the guy who's got the brand on her
branded
ass.
her. You
Yeah.
remember? Analyzing
Bobby DeWitt.
Yeah, Bobby DeWitt, prompting Kay to disclose her past with DeWitt, analyzing the cycle of abuse she endured and how Lee heroically intervened by imprisoning DeWitt and absconding with his money, which is a great revelation to make now that Lee is dead.
And I by the way, I have a note on that scene in particular, because after Josh Hartnett finds the money, he's fixing a tile in the bathroom, and there's like a little tile compartment that he opens up, and then it's full of fucking money. And it's got the name. It's got a band with like the name of the bank.
Yeah, I love the like
On
they're
it.
like, oh, I broke this specific tile that's obviously the secret money chamber tile.
And can you go fix it? Because you probably won't find the secret compartment with the money. But so, and then he goes downstairs and he's all upset and he walks through the kitchen. The set design on that shot, not just the set design, but the shot, like the wallpaper in the kitchen, like it was really cool. Like that was the first time in that movie that I'm watching. I'm like, oh, that looks fucking.
Dude, the movie's
that looks-
it's
that looks
really
cool.
pretty.
It is really pretty, but
The
that
set
scene,
design's fantastic. That
scene in
apartment's
particular,
rad.
Yeah, that scene in particular is like, oh, that's cool. But then I'm also watching it, and I'm like, how is this relevant though? How is this relevant?
Fucking not.
It isn't.
Nothing's relevant. Here's the thing. You know what we haven't talked about in this whole synopsis thus far? The Black Dahlia.
Barely.
Like fucking
Barely.
Just like the movie.
just like the movie.
And by the
And you
way,
guys keep talking about like the set design and the cinematography. My thing as a viewer, I don't care because the story sucks and like the writing sucks and the characters suck. And
what was with
everything
the
sucks.
subplot where Josh Hartnett had to get his dick wet to uncover evidence? Did you notice that? He has 3 sex scenes in the movie. One with Hilary Swank initially.
I mean, Josh Hartnett 2006 is
And
hot
then
as
he
fuck.
could get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
well, so
like,
one
that's
and,
why.
and then as they're like laying their post-coitus like talking, she says something. She reveals that she had more of a relationship with Elizabeth Short, and he's like, oh, and he's like laying in bed and like, oh, and like backs away from her, and she's like, no, please don't, and he like gets up and leaves. Then the next sex scene with him is with Scarlett Johansson. They fuck. Then he finds the money. And he's like, oh, it's another link in the chain. And he's like, freaks out and like leaves.
I think
and
it's a message.
And then there's the third
Good
sex
detectives, fuck.
scene. Yeah. There's the third sex scene with Hilary Swank. And that's when he finds out that she's got more to do with the murder than, he initially thought. But it's like the 3 big breaks in his case are like immediately after he fucks. And I'm like, what? What is this?
Gotta clear the haze.
You don't need good detective work, baby. You just need to fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking post-nut clarity. It really fucking pieces them shits together.
Please continue, Riley.
Okay, all right. Realizing the reason for Lee's final movements deepens Bucky's anger, which apparently is the money, deepens Bucky's anger and drives him back to Madeline, where, Madeline from earlier the scene, like where he's struck by the resemblance she bears to the recently deceased Elizabeth. Okay. Piece by piece, Bucky connects the dots, recalling that the props from the old film...
After he fucks,
yeah. Recalling that the props from the old film, The Man Who Laughs, coincided with those used in Elizabeth's adult film. His intuition reveals links to Emmett Linscott, Madeline's father, who embarrassingly would compromise safety standards while building inexpensive fire trap housing. You guys, you know all that? You remember all this stuff?
No.
It's passingly mentioned in the 3-hour movie.
It's like they tried to squash 5 movies into one.
He uncovers a chilling scene below the Hollywoodland sign, recognizing a set from Elizabeth's film. Oh, he watched a film that you might...
Yeah, he watched this a lesbian porn movie.
Sex movie.
Yeah,
I guess
with a very weird looking dildo with like horns.
Yeah, like
on
a
it.
snaky Satan dildo.
Yeah,
I remember
the thing that really got me was that, like, it's said clearly that the girls in this movie were paid to be in the movie, but like the Elizabeth Short character is just like, no, don't fuck me with this dildo.
Yeah, like, ow,
anything but
ow.
that. Oh,
which was a weird scene to watch.
yeah, fucking, huh?
She's like crying and going like, ow, while a 15-year-old dildos her.
Yeah, is also an interesting point to make. Is that in the actual case of the real world, there is nothing like that whatsoever that pops up in any sense.
Right. It's all
that
fabricated.
is from the book, though?
It is in the book, but actually, no, interestingly enough, there is like a lesbian film reel that comes up in the movie that she was paid to be in, but it does not involve any penetration, just like oral sex. So De Palma's like, no, we're going to need this dildo scene.
We need a weird dildo with fangs on it.
Make it Satan-y. We need a Satan snake dick dildo. Make it weird.
Yeah.
Can we wrap up this fucking synopsis?
I'm trying.
Like you going through the plot again is making me angry.
Confronting both Madeline and her parents reveals dark secrets. Her mother, Ramona, who, Ramona, remember?
Yeah, I remember her.
From the synopsis.
What? Whose mom?
Confesses to Madeline.
Oh, yeah.
Confesses to murdering Elizabeth, citing that Madeline was not only her daughter, but bore a deeper connection to Elizabeth's looks.
She's the worst character in the movie, by the way.
Driven mad by these revelations, Ramona takes her own life.
Is fucking the funniest shit.
Insane.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Insane. Like, what allowed this to happen?
And there's like 2 scenes with her.
And she's a good actress. I've seen her in a bunch of shit.
There's 2 scenes with her.
And she's Aunt Petunia from the Harry Potter movies. Like, she's good.
That's right. Yeah.
That's where she looked familiar. Okay.
There's 2 scenes with her, and then she's the murderer
or something. Yeah. So like, all right. So I'm gonna get through the synopsis real quick. Essentially, Bucky gets Madeline to admit that she was a part of the thing, and the mom helped the guy, and then there was also whatever the fucking their servant.
Yeah, the bug-eyed guy who you see 1 second.
It turned out to be Jeremy from the beginning. But the bug-eyed guy that's fucking strangling her neck hurts the bad guy that killed her, but was trying to fuck Elizabeth Short, and then the mom loved him, and it was Madeline's father. And if you think that me mumbling that didn't give you the details you needed, watch the movie. You also won't understand. So,
one of my notes in here is the movie treats the audience like an idiot. And maybe I am an idiot because I can't follow any of this shit. Or a Mensa-level
genius who's going to put these fucking pieces together without us giving you any of it.
Then so it's complicated. There's it's a web or whatever.
Yeah.
The plot. But then there's also this fucking god-awful narration.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
another one of my huge problems with it.
The inconsistent Josh Hartnett narration.
Yeah. And some of it is just like Captain Obvious shit. Like, I don't remember specifically, but I wrote something about a tattoo. And I'm like, yeah, thanks fucking narration. Like, I didn't see that.
I mean, the tattoo, obviously, Elizabeth Short's like missing tattoo, right? They don't even talk about it in this fucking movie.
They say something about her genitals being removed, which was not really the case.
Well, when they run down the list of like things, like body part things, they omit a lot of the stuff that like the actual body in the real world,
right.
like we're subjected to. And one of the things in the book that's a bit, I'm going to run through the book real quick too. One of the things that is in the book that is a big plot point is that her rose tattoo is missing completely. It's not inserted in her as in the real case,
right?
But like just taken as a souvenir, you know. And they don't talk about that at all. There's a lot they don't talk about in the movie. So this synopsis omits a pretty important figure in general, who's Emmett Linscott's friend and employee, Georgie. You know, Georgie.
Yeah,
from the beginning. It makes plenty of sense that it would omit Georgie because Georgie is barely fucking mentioned in this movie.
Or scene.
Except for a small partial monologue referencing him in the dinner scene. His appearance to fucking murder Aaron Eckhart and then die. Yeah, that's it. That's his whole fucking
That's
bit.
the weird bug-eyed guy who garrotes him and fucking and dies.
And then he reappears in a flashback scene where it's revealed that he, along with Ramona Linscott, are the killers, and it was he that butchered Elizabeth Short. That's about it. About 3 minutes of screen time in total. In the book, there's a whole fucking big fight where Bucky and Georgie duke it out in this house that's full of like preserved body parts and dissected animals and formaldehyde and the tattoo that got cut off of Elizabeth Short's thigh. And Bucky kills Georgie and burns the house down. And then he discovers that Ramona was in on it. And I'm never going to understand why they chose not to have that obviously massive set piece in the fucking movie.
Budget. Because they obviously rushed this whole fucking thing.
But who, like, it?
Because Brian De Palma sucks.
If you could nail the scene where Bucky tracks down the real killer and he's like a disfigured weirdo, and then they have a big fucking throwdown axe fight in like a house of horrors, that would almost redeem like half the fucking movie.
Would have made it better.
But they obviously, I don't think it was budget constraints because they kill Georgie off in that Aaron Eckhart falling in the fountain scene in the middle of the movie. So like they knew.
Well, it might have been the studio
Jump
being
Street.
like, nah, we can't burn down a fucking, like, you got to figure something else out before they shot.
But we can afford 15 crane shots all over fucking Los Angeles. We can afford
Aaron Eckhart and Josh Hartnett and Hilary Swank and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, we can afford to have like fucking 70 extras fighting in the streets at the beginning of the movie.
That's right. Yeah, the cops versus the Navy.
Another huge thing.
I don't even fucking remember that.
That's the Zoot Suit Riots, actually. The Cherry Poppin' Daddy's famous Zoot Suit Riots.
Yeah?
Yeah. Apparently, in the 1940s, there was obviously a rations shortage because of the war. And one of those things that was being rationed was cloth. And gangsters would wear the zoot suits that were really big, baggy suits. Yeah. And a lot of the gangsters were Mexican. So, like, racial tension and, like, shortage, anger, patriotism shit all collided. And one day a bunch of fucking sailors went and beat the shit out of people wearing zoot suits. Mostly Mexicans. Another huge thing that's left from the book and kind of blown up by the sequence where Georgie and Lee die together is that in the book, Lee extorts the Linscotts for a bunch of money and disappears to Mexico. And when Bucky tracks him down, he's dead and chopped up in a mass grave.
Huh.
Yeah. There's this great scene in the book where Bucky's like at night in this mass grave digging in sand, and then he uncovers Lee's like face covered in ants and shit.
Lee is Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart, yeah. Right. Which is like, that also would have been a fucking fantastic shot.
They reference he was somehow involved with the Linscotts and getting money from them.
Yeah, they kind of toss it in there right at the end. But like the big resolution to Lee's story is that he had got like extorted them for a lot of money because
he was crooked.
Yeah. So like finding his body in Mexico covered in ants would have been cool. That would have wrapped some stuff up.
I mean, how do you fix this movie? A full rewrite.
Pretty much.
Full rewrite.
So we talked earlier about the dialogue, right?
Bad. Chicks.
I don't think James Ellroy does great dialogue, kind of to begin with.
Is he the scriptwriter?
Yeah, he's the scriptwriter and the noveler. Okay. You know how novelers?
Author.
He's the author. He also wrote L.A. Confidential, which, if you've never seen it, is a fucking rad movie. That is like another 1940s detective noir kind of thing.
Right.
But it's super fucking cool. Usually he really like relies on stilted 40s jargon, and that's actually kind of softened a little bit in this particular movie. There's a lot of racial slurs and shit in Ellroy's work. I think like Josh Hartnett and Scarlett Johansson do a really good job kind of running this this sort of like bullshit 40s, like, you know, what do you hear, what do you say, you know, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But that kind of swing lingo works for them in like a human way, and they make it conversational. But like if you give it to anybody else, it just sounds like ham-fisted bullshit. Every time Aaron Eckhart
fucking trash
says anything, who knows? Yeah, we're going down Sunset Boulevard. And it just sounds fucking like it's bad.
Yeah.
Character development.
None to
Bad.
speak of. That's why one of my notes were, who the fuck are these people?
So this is a story of obsession, sexual sadism, deep emotional unraveling, like unspoken desire, lust for a murdered woman, asexual throupling, lies, deceit, all this stuff. And the characters either don't change at all, like in the case of Hilary Swank and Scarlett Johansson, or fluctuate so wildly, so suddenly, like Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah.
They look fucking insane.
They did. They tried to do a little bit of character development on Scarlett Johansson.
A little bit, and she's arguably like one of the better parts of the movie.
Right. That's about the only character that gets any character development.
Like Hartnett's pretty static the whole movie, right? Like,
well, it's like
pretty much, which is rough, because in the book, though, not to be too nitpicky with comparisons of the book, the whole thing revolving around Scarlett Johansson, Josh Hartnett, and Aaron Eckhart is Scarlett Johansson always had a thing for Bucky because she would see Aaron Eckhart in like boxing matches, and then she'd go over and see Josh Hartnett boxing, and she had like a thing for him. Aaron Eckhart loves Kay Lake, but is not a sexual person, because when he was a kid, his sister was abducted and murdered while he was fucking somebody. Like, so that's like his thing. Like, he doesn't really like to have sex, and he's super possessive about like girls that get killed in LA.
That could have been a very easy way to describe.
You see how quickly that makes sense?
Yeah.
Right? And then in that, like, he also respects, you know, Bucky Blikert, and is like, it's okay if they fuck, but they also kind of blow up that, like, that feeling in that scene where, you know, they're doing the throuple thing, they're going to parties and stuff at the beginning, and then at New Year's,
and Josh Hartnett kisses.
They kiss, and they look at him like, huh, and he's like, huh, huh. But when they pan away, his face like darkens.
Yeah,
that's not the case in the book at all. He's like, no, it's good. I brought you in to fuck her. It's fine. Like, the whole point of their relationship is like a completion of like broken people,
right?
Which obviously De Palma didn't understand at all.
Jesus God,
it makes
it makes
a
lot
context,
of sense.
yeah.
So like Hartnett does his best to have like a cohesive sort of growth, but he's on 90% of the scenes. Like,
but it's okay. So let me give you a great example of how they did not do any character development with Bucky, aka Hartnett.
Right.
In the beginning, there is this sort of like, he comes from, you know, sort of an immigrant dad, lives in a poor part of town, is sort of a meek guy, you know, he's not real animated. And there's the scene where Aaron Eckhart gives him the flyer about their boxing match to read, and he's having trouble reading it. Right? Do you remember this scene?
Yeah.
And he's kind of like stumbling over the words, and Aaron Eckhart snatches it out of his hand, and he reads it out real quick, which would indicate that he's not particularly well educated. Hartnett.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe street immigrant kid.
Never does that reveal itself at any other point in the movie. Never does he have trouble with anything.
They never talk about... I guess
other than he only uncovers evidence after he fucks.
They never talk about how he's like a street tough that became a boxer because, you know, like he like grew up hard.
So it's like, what's the fucking point of adding any of this if you're not going to use it at any other point in the movie?
This is the weirdest thing about the fucking movie to me, is that so many like points of plot development are ingrained in different scenes and then completely glossed over. So it's like, if you read the book, you'd be like, hey, cool. But like, also pissed off that they omitted so much stuff. It's not for book readers or movie watchers. It's not.
Well, here's, and we can cut this if you want to. In terms of this podcast, who's going to watch this movie now? We just ruined the whole movie. Is this just for people who have seen the Black Dahlia?
It is specifically for me to talk about the movie The Black Dahlia.
What's our audience here?
No, the audience for this is going to be people who like to hate watch.
Okay.
Right? and then listen to people that hate watch.
Okay.
Which there's a market for.
There is a huge market for it, actually.
Yeah, sure.
One of my favorite versions of that is there's a podcast called Too Scary Didn't Watch.
Okay.
Which
you basically ripped the title of this off.
No, Pat did. He'd never heard of it. So
What?
Bad Movie Please Fix was your title.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, and you'd never heard of it. So I was like, that's fine. I can steal that.
I don't remember that.
But that one is it's several women, a couple of whom don't like to watch scary movies and one that does. And she watches scary movies and then tells them what happens in the movie.
Oh, my God.
Right? I love that because it's just like, you don't have to watch the movie for it. It's the interaction around it.
And you don't have to watch the Black Dahlia murder. We're going to tell you all about it and why it was so bad. So you're welcome.
You know, hey, if you don't, if you want to watch it and be like, wow,
it's just called the Black Dahlia.
Yeah, the Black Dahlia. So Hartnett's on screen 98% of the time. He does all the voiceover, and most of his scenes involve him being like very confused or unreasonably emotional about things he shouldn't be concerned with.
Like when Hilary Swank admits that she had sex with Elizabeth Short.
Yeah, and he's like, oh.
Well, he laughs about it. I think so that's a very confusing scene. Cause he asks her to like tell him something, you know, she admits that she hasn't been as forthcoming with her involvement with Elizabeth Short, and he asks her to like tell him, and she says that she had sex with Elizabeth Short because she wanted to see what it was like to fuck someone who looked like her.
Which is like, wait, hold on a second. And you don't look like her. You just model yourself after her.
Yeah, and he laughs about it. Well, she insists that I don't know if you remember in the movie, she insists that she was already dressing that way before Elizabeth Short. But so he laughs about it. And so watching the scene, the one time that I did, because I will never watch this movie again. I don't know how the fuck you did it, Riley.
I'll probably watch it again today.
Watching the scene, she admits that, and he starts laughing. And in my mind, I was like, oh, he's laughing because that's not really a big deal. You know, like whatever, you slept with her. Okay.
Aside from the fact that she's obviously had a sexual relationship with a murder victim that he's actively investigating.
Well, I mean, sure, but
not something to laugh about. It's like, oh, really? You knew her and her, like what she did? Why don't we tell me about
but
this
then like immediately, like she's got a serious face while he's laughing. And I think the scene is supposed to insinuate that he thought she was joking, then sees the emotion on her face and the seriousness, and then realize she's not joking. And then he's like, lesbian sex with a murder victim? Oh, and then that's when he like gets up and gets on, and she's like, no, baby, no, please don't leave me.
I think come back and fuck me again.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this got fucked in the editing.
Yeah.
And in lack of coverage.
Well, here's the
really, and just rushing.
Who watched the final edit of this movie and was like, yes,
nailed it.
We got cinema gold.
They had to have known that this was gonna fucking bomb.
Well, talking about the cohesion of the movie, you kind of put the nail right on the head, because the cohesion is probably the worst thing about the fucking movie. The fact that it's just not a through line bit to bit.
That and the fucking fades.
The legend is that there was like a 3.5 hour cut of this movie.
How long is the actual movie?
2 hours.
Not only that, can
you imagine?
I think
maybe if it was good.
Wasn't Fincher originally attached to this? And
Fincher was originally attached.
And he wanted to do a miniseries.
Yeah.
Which would have worked better.
Which would have worked great and probably been really fucking cool.
Which is, when Melissa watched it with me, she's like, this would have been way better as a miniseries.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
Seems like they're, and then I think we looked it up later.
That was kind of like right at the beginning of Fincher's thing with like doing miniseries for Netflix. Right. Like Mindhunter and shit like that. He probably would have done Black Dahlia instead of Mindhunter.
When did he do Mindhunter? Wasn't that
it was like 10 years later,
so
but
good.
at the same time.
I never saw it.
But directly after him turning down refusing to do Black Dahlia under the particular time limits and stuff, he went and he did Zodiac, which is kind of beat for beat the same sort of story. It's about people investigating a murder and the surrounding stuff around it, and it is possibly one of the best fucking
Zodiac
movies
is a way better movie.
It is one of the best movies of the past 20 years. It's crazy good.
I haven't seen it.
It's super fucking. It's probably Fincher's best like cinema movie, like his like most complete. Yeah, there's this whole thing about how Fincher like would like when he's filming, he's such like a stickler for every detail that when he's filming like this newspaper office, right, he would have people write articles on like the typewriters or partial articles and crumple them up and put them in the trash so that all the trash bins would have like authentic newspaper office shit going on in them. It's like that's how detail oriented he was.
By the way, Black Dahlia had a $50 million budget in 2006, which is huge.
It's crazy.
And although it was a box office failure, it did get almost all of its money back, $49.3 million.
Ooh, so close.
So close.
Was that
still lost $700,000?
DVD sales of people wanting to hate watch it?
Yeah,
Talk
probably.
about it on their podcast.
Yeah.
There'll be a huge boost after this.
Well, you got yours from the thrift store.
I got
right?
mine from the thrift store. Exactly. Yeah.
You're not getting any of that money, De Palma.
Yeah,
fuck you.
De Palma. Well, the legend is that there's like a 3.5 hour cut that the studio made De Palma shred and re-edit. And it feels that way for sure. Like you can see that. Like even without me telling you guys, you're like, yeah, what the fucking obviously something. The way the pace never actually increases, but there's almost no evidence introduced over the course of the investigation. There is no evidence introduced.
No.
Over the course of a 2-hour investigation movie. The way Eckhart just gets insanely obsessed with the Black Dahlia case out of fucking nowhere. The complete difference in direction from one scene to another. You know, like for instance, the POV shot when fucking
like
I think they just didn't film. You know how like with most shots you do, you know, your counter shot and all that. You know, I just think they didn't film Hartnett.
That scene when he's coming in and they're doing the POV, you know what it reminds me of is the Continental from Saturday Night Live with Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
She opens the door. She's like, "Oh, hello. Why don't you come on in?"
You know
Bucky?
what it reminded me of? Like every movie where like the main character's wife dies of something and he's watching like their old home movies.
Oh, the
and
RoboCop.
she's like, oh, come on. And like holding the hands and like, let's go do the, or what's
It's RoboCop.
or John Wick or like any of these fucking
when RoboCop's walking through his old house
or Memento
and he's having the flashback and his wife's like, I have to tell you something. I love you.
Yeah.
And then the son comes out with a little laser gun. He's like, hey, Dad.
what the
So
fuck?
good. Okay. Look at how seriously this movie takes itself up until you meet Hilary Swank's family. Like the whole movie is so like, we're doing this movie. It's prestige. And then you meet Hilary Swank's family and they're these fucking wackadoo oddballs that don't fit the feel of the rest of the movie at all.
Well, you know what's funny is the lady who plays the mom.
Yeah.
Plays like a fucking like, you know, when Molly Shannon was on SNL.
Oh, yeah.
And she would play like the drunk, like, oh, I'm just having a blast.
Yeah,
And like throw her leg up in the air. Like that's who the mom reminds.
That's
She
exactly,
looks kind of like Molly Shannon.
That's exactly. She's playing a fucking cartoon character. They're like fucking cartoon characters. And then when the big set piece of the fountain goes down and Georgie does that weird garrote wire, like fucking, you know, it's a full throwback to classic, like
silent film era.
Kind of. So Brian De Palma, right? He's got this obsession with Gaio films from, or Giallo films from Italy. So in the 70s, they do these Italian movies like Suspiria and shit like that are like ultra vibrant and like pantomime-y and have these big broad actions and like big colors and like super stylized things. And De Palma stole from those fucking just wantonly for years. So like the whole rest of Black Dahlia is a pretty normal-esque kind of movie. And then just in that death scene or like in the fucking kill scene, he's like, yeah, we're going to do the Giallo thing. We're going to fucking like make it really weird and crazy. Let's go. Yeah. Zoidberg it.
So bad.
You know, when the head explodes, it's like, bleh.
Yeah. When it hits
It's fucking it's bad. But yeah, it's a full throwback to like classic Neo Giallo De Palma, and it sucks. It's garbage. Now, what do you guys think about the resolution?
What
was there one? Did you see one that I didn't see?
Yeah, come on, right at the end, you know.
He just shoots Hilary Swank.
Well, first, you know, he goes
that
to
scene was the worst part of the movie too. That whole fucking thing.
You're not gonna shoot me.
You're gonna fuck me.
You're gonna fuck me.
You know what would have been funny is he shot her and then fucked her. That would have been. It would have made more sense with the weird, like, pseudo-sexual sadism angle of the book. Because in the book, Bucky Bleicher gets obsessed with Elizabeth Short to the point of, like, ruining his relationships, getting kicked out of the force. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff. He really goes down a rabbit hole and even, like, gets prostitutes and has them dress up as Elizabeth Short and shit like that. Like, it gets really weird. There's a lot of really odd, almost necrophilic stuff attached to it. But it's all like psychosexual. Like the whole book is really good in that way because
You know who would have been good at that?
Huh?
Fincher.
Fincher would have been fucking amazing.
No, it would have been better. Miniseries. And I have another note. You know who was supposed to play Blanchard?
Who?
Mark Wahlberg. So if he had been there,
this
movie would have been better.
Would have been different. Would have been way different.
By the way, De Palma fucked his career with that because I'm looking at his cinematography,
totally
and he was doing movies every 2-3 years.
There isn't shit after that.
Since 2006, he's done 3 movies in the last 20 years almost.
God, I can just picture fucking Mark Wahlberg in that role, just being like, "Hey, come on, we gotta go solve this matter. Come on, what are we gonna?
Why? No.
Why are you getting so obsessed with this broad? We don't know. We gotta go solve this other thing. Come on, guys. Guys, I gotta tell you, I'm really not concerned with this Black Dahlia issue.
You gonna have sex with another lady? You gonna have sex with another lady right in front of me?
I got a couple.
Really, I gotta tell you, I think your parents are really rude.
Your mom's crazy. Your mom's nuts.
I have some mystery notes, and I don't know what they mean, and maybe you guys can inform me.
Tell me.
All right, so I got a few that are fades suck, fades are killing me. We get that.
Sure.
I think I asked you guys, is this why Hartnett stopped getting work?
It is. It's a kind of a 1-2 punch because he had that at the same time as like Pearl Harbor within a couple of years.
Okay.
Right, and that's just sort of like
Pearl Harbor. Couple years before that.
Years before that,
and
yeah,
that bombed as well.
But that put a stink on him because it was like this prestige movie, and then he's like, no, I'll fix it with this Brian De Palma movie, and it was like, oh god.
Well, what year was Lucky Number 11?
Lucky Number 11, I believe, was after that, but that was a minor success that became more of a cult classic.
Yeah. I have all caps. Jew Boy Deputy.
Jew Boy Deputy was it was the DA. The DA, remember they called him a Jew boy.
Yeah.
That was the one who got after the boxing match, Aaron Eckhart was already working what department? He wasn't in homicide. They were doing something else.
Oh, Vice. Was it Vice? No, he was warrants.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And then Hartnett is supposed to just be a beat cop, but him and Eckhart sort of have this boxing match and become friends and yada yada yada, and then Aaron Eckhart introduces him to the quote Jew boy DA or whatever, and that's when it was after the fight. It was after the riots, and then that's when they conceived the idea of the boxing match to help push some local legislation through to improve the department.
I got
something about that boxing match too. That another little piece of character development that I wish they'd kept in. Bucky was paid to throw the fight.
Yeah.
And then in the book, he decides not to because he's winning. And then Lee Blanchard beats the shit out of him. That's like, so it's an honest loss. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Which would have been
in the movie. He's supposed to throw the fight.
He throws it for sure. Yeah.
And he's winning. And then he's like,
I throw it. But no, in the book, he's like, hey, maybe I won't throw it because I'm fucking winning here. And then Blanchard, who is a big ass dude in the book, beats the fuck out of him.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, good.
I got 2 more. I don't know what this means. Lorna wearing the Stay Puft marshmallow hat.
Which one's Lorna? That's the 15-year-old?
Lorna's the 15-year-old, yeah.
I guess she was wearing a Stay Puft marshmallow hat.
When he finds her in the park, when he runs her down.
Yeah, something problematic.
She's wearing a big dumb hat.
Something problematic about showing a topless character that you say in the movie is 15.
Yeah.
That's problematic.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is wearing a big stupid fuck hat.
Last
and
one.
Carrying a big porn reel for some reason.
And he just happens to be walking through the park. Like he's been looking everywhere for her. And then one day he's just walking through the park.
Feeding the ducks and he's like, hey, hey you.
I'm surprised he didn't just get done fucking somebody when he turns around and she's walking. I'm surprised he didn't have some broad bent over the park bench and he turns around and he's like, oh, there she is.
Again, no actual police work investigating evidence.
No.
There is none. Unfortunately, the book actually does have some really cool detective shit in it and multiple different angles that are investigated that come back around and is well put together.
Okay.
All right. My last weird note that I don't know what it means. Hartnett kissing Johansson reminds me of my chickens. Is there like a really weird peck or something like that?
It could be. It could be right at the end. Maybe the last.
That one. I don't know that.
It's right in the middle of my notes.
They walk up to each other and
I don't know. Did they do that?
I don't know.
Maybe the sex scene didn't involve very believable kissing.
I mean, some of the acting's pretty good. There is some that is really good.
It's a service by a terrible script.
Yeah, terrible script, terrible directing.
Hartnett, I remember him getting shit on back in the day for being a terrible actor. I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either. I've always really liked Josh Hartnett. Like from The Faculty, he's been really fucking
his acting in this movie was bad.
It's just wooden because he's got nowhere to go with it.
In this, because I remember watching it and just being like, I know that he doesn't have a huge amount of range, but
I mean more than this. And like in this movie, it's like, hey, carry the whole fucking thing, but also don't show any emotion.
Yeah.
Well, and don't make any sense.
Bad fucking directing.
Yeah.
You think Star Wars, fucking Ewan McGregor is a great actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
He sucks in those fucking prequels.
I guess Scarlett Johansson would be the Ewan McGregor of this movie, actually. Just kind of like constrained, but like trying to do her best.
Yeah.
Johansson's good. It's obviously not a female-led film, though. I mean, the best acting in the movie, I think, came from Mia Kirshner, who's Elizabeth Short.
I think that's pretty much everybody's take on this.
I feel like she actually studied the real Elizabeth Short to come up with a kind of strange, like lamely sexual sort of like figure. You only really see her act in this kind of like audition thing. It's almost like
it's just all her audition.
Yeah, like a casting couch
acting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so she's acting, and she like is acting as a bad actress.
Yeah,
and that whole sequence is pretty good.
I know her from she was in the show The L Word, which I never saw that, but she was also in 24. Did you ever see 24?
I never did watch 24, actually.
Neither did I.
But yeah, in those little audition things, she's being like pouty, sexy, and like off-putting when the director is like telling her not to, which is like that's how Elizabeth Short is kind of depicted in the book as kind of a just like off-putting. And that's how like Elizabeth Short is described in general in like the real world as being like, I don't know, she's kind of fucking weird and off-putting, Yeah. Just a little like, But yeah, so this depiction is a lot closer to like how she's described in real life, and I thought she did it pretty good. Who's really bad was Fiona Shaw as Ramona Linscott, like comically bad.
Who the fuck is that?
That's the mom.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying.
Like when she kills herself and she does this like goodbye, and like waves with her fingers like it's like the dumbest fucking thing.
So
it's the dumbest fuck thing, which also does not happen in the book, by the way. She doesn't do that.
Does she die?
She died. She has lupus.
She's supposed to be like a pillhead or something like that.
Yeah, she's a fucked up weirdo, and there's a whole backstory there. But like, no, the movie doesn't investigate any of that because that's the last half of the book, which they don't fuck with. They do the first half of the book and then just squash everything else together. All right, so just to get to the end here, what did you like about it?
You guys keep saying the cinematography. Honestly, the rest of it was so bad that I didn't notice that it was shot nicely. So
it's honestly hard to find.
I like the Zoidberg run. I think it should have been retooled as a comedy. I like I'll give it this. I like the cast.
The cast is pretty good.
The cast is stacked, and there a lot of pretty much exclusively good actors in there.
Yeah,
just bad material.
Yeah, I liked. I liked the 40s feeling that it was obviously based around like old school noir stuff. Yeah. Like there's a good dedication in some scenes to that.
Set design and all that. Yeah,
exactly. You know what fucks it up? Good. The thing that like really fucks up all like the good 40s, like because it makes sense to me that the movie is based on like the movie The Blue Dahlia, which is where Black Dahlia got her name, right? It makes sense to me that's a detective noir. Mm-hmm. So to like model the cinematography after that is a cool move. And I like that because it like kind of makes it like a realistic sort of 40s thing, So yeah, I guess that would be the thing that I liked the most is that they dedicated themselves to making it kind of like an old school noir. That's pretty much it. The rest of it sucks. A big dicks.
Pat, you got anything nice to say about Brian De Palma's The Black Dahlia?
The cinematography was done well. I wouldn't even say the whole thing. In places, it was more impressive than others. In other places, it was just kind of like, okay. God damn it! It's too disjointed. They could have just picked one of the 8 stories they tried to do and made a decent movie.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Yeah.
So, bad movie.
Bad movie. How would you fix it? That's the real. Yeah. That's where we get to here. Do you have any ideas what you would do to make it a good movie?
Hire Fincher, do the miniseries, and fucking cast Mark Wahlberg, obviously.
Cast Mark Wahlberg as the Black Dahlia.
Yeah.
Hey, if I was there, they never would have killed me.
I would have kept both my pieces together.
No, I think
Hey,
it was,
don't put that dildo in me.
I think a lot of the problem is in the editing, and it's also I really got the distinct sense that there was a lack of coverage, that they just rushed through these scenes, that they did I feel like they used the first take on a lot of shit, which stuff like Swank's performance, which again she's a good actor. I feel
she's a good actor, and she's not a good character actor though.
I don't know,
you know.
But I feel like I got the impression that she never found her character truly because due to a lack of time. And this is just me.
I think you named like probably 6-7 different things from the book that made me go, now
yeah.
I understand why they did this in the movie.
Right.
So like it's just a matter of whoever did the screenplay, which was not, it was, I just had it up a second ago.
Yeah, it's crazy because the book is pretty disjointed too, in that it's like, as a detective novel is wont to do, like it goes in a lot of different directions and a lot of things happen.
Well, is it written that way? Is that on purpose?
Yeah, it's like a fucking 8-hour book. I listened to the whole thing.
So the book was James Ellroy. The screenplay was Josh Friedman.
I have another nice thing to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
typeface on the credits is really good.
Yeah. No, I legitimately, Patrick's looking at a picture
of James Friedman, and I'm looking at
it's not James Friedman. The cover, the cover for the DVD or the poster.
It's cool.
Is awesome.
That is cool because it just like fucking the lips or the mouth slash. It just goes deep. That's cool.
Yeah,
that is good look.
That's
the Black Dahlia is one of only 4 that 4 movies that he's written the screenplay for. The other is War of the Worlds.
Oh, the Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
That's a pretty fucking good movie, actually.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes from last year.
Also that's a really good movie.
And
that was like a shocking.
I didn't see that one.
The newest one?
All of the
Dude,
ones
the newest
leading
one
up,
is like shockingly good.
And the
They were all
Fantastic
good,
Four First Steps, which has that come out yet this year?
Yeah, I actually just watched that too, and I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Okay, those are the only other movies that he's screenwritten for.
What the fuck, Josh Friedman?
He's done story only for Chain Reaction, Terminator Dark Fate.
Chain Reaction with fucking Cuba Gooding Jr.?
And co-wrote with James Cameron Avatar: The Way of Water and
That's
Avatar:
my guy.
Fire and Ash.
There you go. There's my guy.
Never mind. He sucks again.
Yeah. He's also done a lot of screenwriting for television stuff. Terminator: Sarah Connor Chronicles.
That's actually pretty good.
I've never seen it. I always
shit.
heard that was good.
That's good.
But so I mean, looking over what he's done, it
Sounds
seems
like a good,
largely pretty good.
Good
He's got a
journeyman
couple-
writer, you know?
A couple of smears on his the the Black Dahlia Avatar, but otherwise good. Yeah.
He heavily shanked the screenplay on this.
Yeah, at the very least, if he wrote anything good in it, it got cut.
Yeah, well, that's true. That could be another editing room
Right.
issue.
Yeah, was that what would you fix for to make it a good movie, Pat?
Okay, so I feel like if you're gonna do
dildos,
more, just the one dildo, more
elongate,
fangs.
just make that scene
more
the movie.
fangs on the dildo. I need a dildo with at least 8 fangs.
Fangs on the dildo.
Bandit?
So I think I would, if you want to do this movie with the whole, all the things, right? The cop story, you know, the fucking the murder, the wealthy family being involved, all these fucking things that they tried to like just squish. You got to make this at least a 2.5 hour movie,
Right?
Isn't it?
I guess it's 2 hours, right?
2 hours, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember hitting my remote halfway through the movie to be like, how much left? And it was an hour, and I was like, oh my God.
I was going to say, because it's already painfully long.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, I hesitate to say make this a 2.5, 3 hour movie because fuck. But I mean,
would say
at least if you're going to make it a good movie, then I'll watch a good 3 hour movie.
I would say cut it in the other direction, make it an hour and a half, but cut out all the stupid bullshit.
Yeah, cut out a bunch of stupid bullshit. Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that, and again, maybe this goes back to editing, like all the things that we talked about that got like that we have this sort of setup with no payoff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing here? You either got to like do it this way or do it that way. I don't know. I don't know which one makes it better. I tend to, like, a lot of people have an issue watching a 3-hour movie. I don't if it's a good movie.
Yeah, if it's good, it's good. I just watched a 3-hour movie last night. It was fucking rad.
Yeah, so I would tend to say make it like add more nuance, add more of the stuff from the book, or at least don't edit it out if you had it originally, and just paint us a fuller picture, because it's so disjointed and all over the fucking place, and it's like it just jumps, and so many things that just are irrelevant to the final film that get like, you know, screen time to go, okay, well, this is going to happen now, and then why? Who cares? What? It has nothing to do with it.
I agree with that very much. My take, all right, so my fix would take some of the stuff from the book, and it would leave some of the stuff from the book. I'd omit the weird thruple energy there. Yeah, I'd make it more of like a straightforward noir. Keep copping the 40s style. Even lean like way heavier into that 40s style. Mm-hmm. Make it feel like a Bogart movie, you know. But when it comes to the murder, just do all of the graphic content. I would like make it very much like that sort of sanitized 40s detective movie,
except
but then make it real fucking gnarly, as though like
that would be interesting.
You remember in our episode we were talking about how this murder in the real world sort of bridged that gap between the icky realities of the world and the fanciful stuff of like the silver screen. Right. So just fucking encapsulate that.
Yeah.
Get all the gnarlier details about the Black Dahlia. Oh, the Black Dahlia.
Now you sound like Marky Mark.
You know,
the Black Dahlia.
Take some of the gnarlier details that they omit in the movie and put them in. All of it.
Yeah.
Undercut the classic noir romance feel with like visceral, real world police work. Pound the pavement. Have the two detectives really work the case and unravel a bit over time, as though it was like really affecting them, but like not all at once.
Right.
In a quick cut scheme.
Yeah.
You know,
why we can just make one guy go insane and one guy has a superpower where he learns things after fucking.
Fine. I don't know. He's keep post nut superhero to him. But like, have Bucky fuck Kay. Make that an area of contention. Have a falling out between the detectives and have them pursue different angles independently. That's where Bucky can meet Hilary Swank, and you know, maybe not have her family be a fucking Simpsons caricature.
Yeah, get some more sex evidence.
Yeah, have Lee find clues on the street. You know, they both lead to Georgie. They confront him in a big climactic showdown that gets Lee killed. Bucky gets kicked off the force. And in the end sequence, they reveal some evidence that proves Georgie was innocent and her killer's still at large. Like, just leave it like that. Like, just fucking... They do the whole thing, and at the end, it's like...
And that would be more true to the actual case,
exactly,
too.
Because it was never fucking solved. So, like, you know, you can have the whole resolution, and then you get that empty feeling of like, oh, we never did solve this. That's what I would make it like if fucking Humphrey Bogart got into like a real fucking gnarly, gross detective case. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that would have been something.
So is it fixed?
I mean...
Between all of that, if you combine all of our ideas?
I think if you combine all our ideas, that would make a good movie.
Well, let's get another 50 million. And
well, unfortunately, much like that empty feeling of not being able to solve the murder, we'll never truly know what it would be like if this movie didn't suck balls.
Well, I mean, we do live in a time where everything is remade and
true.
Prequeled.
I wonder what
sequeled.
Fincher's up to.
That's true.
It's not a case of like, I don't know, like De Palma. It's not like something where it's a smear on a otherwise good director's career, like James Cameron's Avatar. It's like it's gonna be my thing. I think I'm gonna find a way to sneak in
that you hate Avatar.
Yeah,
I love Avatar.
For the uninitiated, Riley and I are very much on the opposite side of the coin when it comes to James Cameron's Avatar.
I think it was okay, so I'm kind of just in the middle. It wasn't mind blowing, and it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It kind of it's okay.
See, there's the dichotomy there. The three of us.
The only thing that pisses me off about that movie is unobtainium. Makes me want to smash everything in my sight.
I think that is the perfect summation of my problems with that movie.
Yeah.
The word and the concept of unobtainium.
Well, thank you guys for tuning into our search for the unobtainium of film greatness with Brian De Palma's terrible piece of shit movie, The Black Dahlia. Thank you guys for tuning in, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.